Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dream Career Talk Show. On this show, we bring industry experts from various domains to share their knowledge, their experience, their challenges, their failures, and success so that it can inspire others to build their dream careers. On this episode, we have an amazing guest with us discussing on a topic of how to become a high income construction professional. Many construction professionals have skills, but they struggle to grow in their field. So today's guest, Shruti Deshpande, helps construction professionals to become high income construction professionals. She is the founder of Infinite Grey Constructions, ISHVASTU, which is about decode the science behind Vastu Shastra, HICP, which is become a high income construction professional from struggle to high income success. She's also an author, a TEDx speaker, and a high income construction professional mentor. Shruti is on a mission to transform the lives of 1 lakh construction professionals to sail through challenging work environments and unstructured systems through upskilling and mentoring to have high income and live a life of abundance. Shruti, it's amazing to see the kind of journey you have traveled, and today you are inspiring a lot of people, especially the construction professionals. How do they grow and become those high income construction professionals? So it's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to Dream Career Talk Show.
Thank you, Fatah. It's my pleasure to be here. And I used to always see this, talk show and you bringing so many different kind of people. And I used to always see, wow, this is so amazing. Like you get to know about so many different kinds of careers here. So it's my privilege and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for being here because there are a lot of people who are in the construction field, especially those architects, interior designers, but they don't know actually what is the process or how do they actually become those high income professionals, right? So today, when you are here, I'm sure they will get a lot of value and able to learn that. So to get started, let's understand about how you actually got into this journey. From where did you begin, and today how you are able to inspire a lot of people to become those high income professionals.
Yeah. So first of all, when I was small, so this all journey began when I was very small at a very young age, about 10 to 12 years, and I used to always get fascinated by buildings, and those small houses that people build, out of their hard-earned money. So I used to see that people earn just to actually have their own dream houses. So that used to make me wonder that, wow, I mean, this is something that people really want in their life. So, what is the ultimate goal is to have their own space, to
Right.
have their own dream home. And I think that fascinated me a lot. And I thought, that time only when I was in my seventh standard, hardly I was, 12, 13 years, that I want to become an architect. So I think this journey, this seed, started from my childhood. And I never knew what is this field all about. Even I didn't know what that person is called, but I knew ki mujhe, I want to build dream houses. And slowly, when I grew up, when I went to college for my high school, then the opportunities were there in front of me, and I was like the one person who didn't give any entrance, only architecture, because I knew since childhood that I have to go in this field, and I entered into this field. So this is how my journey was.
That's amazing. And you had absolute clarity of where you want to get into, right? And of course, as you said, every one of us want to have that dream house. I think right from childhood, kids also have the dreams. Hey, my house have to be like this. So you not only dreamt of your house, you dreamt of how do you build these houses for others. Right? And how was the support from your family or friends? Was there any pressure? Because a lot of times it happens that people are choosing engineering, medical, so that they actually start earning more. So when you chose this career, was there good support or did you have resistance from the opposite side? How was it?
Yeah. So the funny part here is my family. My mother and my father both are doctors, and all my cousins, all my uncles, they all are engineers. So nobody in my entire family and relation, there was a person as an architect or in this particular construction field. So yes, obviously resistance was there because they didn't knew anything about this field. Nobody to guide. There is somebody in the relative who guides you. Okay, I've done this. You can
Right.
do this. Right? But there was one influence I can say of my sister, like my cousin sister. She was an architect, and she is very older to me, 20, 10, 12 years, and she has been through this journey. So she told my mother, no, no, please tell her not to take this field. It's a very struggling field, and tell her not to go into this field. And then my mother told me that you should not take this field because that there are a lot of struggles. But I was so determined to be here in this field that I told that no matter what, how many struggles I have to go into this journey of architecture, but I want to be in this field because this is something I feel I resonate with most. So I think this is how, and then my family also got to know that, okay, she'll be doing good in this only. If we put her in engineering or medical, that would be against her, wish, against her passion. So I think that time only they understood this, and then they supported me.
Wow, that's amazing. And I think you are a true example of dream career where you actually dreamt of your career and you had determination that, yes, I want to build this as my dream career, and you started following that path. But every career has a lot of myths around it, right? So I'm sure even in your field, there are a lot of myths which would have become a challenge, like when it was about your family and things when you started as well. So, what are the myths that may would have become a roadblock for you, or have become a roadblock for many people who want to build this as a dream career?
Yeah. So first of all, because architecture is a part of the construction industry, which is the second largest industry in the world, right? And
Right.
here what happens is, because you're a part of such big industry, people often don't know the gravity of this. So architecture is always being taken as, oh, it's just a design. So the first myth is, the architects don't have to do anything, they just have to design something, and there are people who would be on the site actually executing it. So that was the first myth, which I felt after I completed my graduation. I entered into the practical market as such, that this is just a myth. An architect has to be very versatile and actually should have knowledge of each and every field in the construction, because then only he can vision the entire thing. It's not nothing here is virtual, or um, I can say, what we can say, adventurous or something. It should be realistic,
Right.
right? So this was the myth. And the second myth, very important, is women are not meant for this,
Hmm.
because it's a side job. You have to be on site, or you have to deal with so many different kinds of people. So often, this is not a good industry to be in for women. And the safe place is being an IT professional, or being in different profession where they are safe. They get a safe environment and they can grow there. So clearly this was also a myth, because in every field there are certain challenges for women as well as men. But yeah, along the journey I could see that through my eyes.
Great. And you busted this myths for yourself, and today you are busting those myths for a lot of people and becoming an inspiration today, right? And when I was in engineering, I thought maybe civil engineers are the ones who do everything, right? I thought, okay, they look at the site, they do the site visits, they are actually building up the plan. But there are multiple things in this, right? So like, what are the critical roles that an architect plays? Because yes, we know there is a site engineer, there is a structural engineer. So if you can bring some key roles of an architect, and also other key roles that people can pick up if they want to get into this construction industry, which are like high income, and then they can make good money as well along with career.
Yeah. So, I always feel like how we have psychologists, right? There are psychology doctors who study psychology of people. We are also psychologists of people who come to us, because, we are the first person they come to when they think of doing something. Like, for
Right.
example, they have money, now they want to build something. So, who is that first person that they come to is the architect. because they want to know what can happen in that space, how much budget it would take. And sometimes it happens that they even don't speak their heart out, and we have to actually be like a psychologist to understand the unspoken words also, you know understand their dreams, understand what they aspire for. So somewhere this is a very critical role which starts right from the beginning. So understanding their psychology, understanding their dreams, understanding their budget, planning it, and then when we plan it, we actually become a medium between the, what we can say, the stakeholder or the client and the contractors that build on the site. So we are continuous, like we are in a chain. So anything that is going on in the site, we are the medium, whether it is going right, as per the design, is there any deflection, so we are those point of contact. So we bind together everybody here, client
Right.
also, and civil engineers, structural engineers, like we are that binding material here.
Definitely, and I think that's a very critical role. And what you spoke also is very true. Like even understanding the unspoken things that the clients are not saying, because you are actually working on their dream, right? That dream project for them. So you become the first person as an architect for those clients, right? And helping them visualize the entire end goal or the end project there, right? And you start working on it. And what kind of people do you get engaged later, like after you build a structure or while you are building a structure? When does the structural engineer come into play? When does the site engineer come into play? Right? When are the other people going to come into the play when you actually look at the entire project? And how do you coordinate, or what is that role that you play here?
Yeah. So, earlier, when I started with the career, I was, just a consultant. For example, even though we used to visit sites, so there are certain rules and regulations for every professional in this industry, right? So, similarly, we have code of conduct. We have, some council that plays a very major role in this profession, and we have certain rules of ours, right? So, as I told you, like the design starts right from the beginning, but when it get freezed, like it's done, from our side, then it goes for the bill of quantities, and it will go to valuers, and it will go to the contractor, and the materials will be brought on the site, and then the site work will be done with the help of the laborers and the site engineer who is monitoring that site. And we as architects, we need to be there on the site at regular intervals. For example, there are certain milestones of each stage of construction of each building. So we have to be there on the site at that time to check the quality and everything of that. So as soon as our design part ends, our execution management starts,
Hmm.
and we get to coordinate with all sorts of people, right from vendors also. So sometimes, like the materials that the vendors are providing, is it good? So what is the quality? So we also go for quality testing of the material. And this obviously wasn't there when I started the journey, but then I could see, where are the gaps, and where can an architect add more value in that particular area, because it's not only his job to just design and sit and just go and visit it and come back, but all these crucial roles are also very important in the journey. So I think everybody, we get to coordinate with everybody on the site.
Right. And one of the myths in the lawyers, right, with lawyers is people believe that if you have a black coat and if you are sitting in the court, right, then only you are a lawyer. But there are many such roles which lawyers play even outside court, right? Sometimes they don't even have to be there. So similarly in construction field, it's like, hey, you have to be in sun, you have to be running on the site all the time. So what kind of percentage of role is like critical in terms of when you are designing, right? And if you have to look at the site visits and all, how do you distribute that as an architect?
So it's 50-50 actually. See, because
Hmm.
vision, uh, having a vision and designing it is one part, right? But the crucial part starts after that. That the way you have imagined that particular building or that particular home, Will it be executed in the same way? Right, so actually the crucial part starts after designing it. So when we check the slabs, when we check the foundation, so every time we need to also check the brickworks that is going on. So I will say it's 50-50 work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are at times, as you asked and also told that you have to visit sites. Yeah, I have also visited sites when I was having a high fever, running on high fever, 102 degrees, because that was crucial at that time, because the slab was to cast next day and I had to check it today. So these are some crucial rules which an architect cannot avoid, you know. So yeah, these are certain things.
Right. And actually, when you are also talking about an architect, right, in terms of design, there are so many new designs that have come out, beautiful buildings coming out there. So, how do you actually understand what are the tools or some things that help you to understand even before the building is designed? Like, how much is the elevation that has to be given? How much is the strength that has to be put? Are there any tools and technologies that you use as well in architect field, or is it more from the creativity that comes out?
Yeah. So I would say, architecture or interiors, be it interiors, is a kind of field, and it will only stop till the time your imagination stops. So it's very dynamic. You can imagine anything, and you can actually work on it and make it execute. So here creativity parts, plays a very major role, because already in the entire world there are so different kinds of elevations and buildings going on with different materials. Each country, or we can say each continent, have different kinds of construction technology, right?
Right.
But what we believe is, to understand the best practices going on in the industry right now, and see if we can, have at least 5 to 10% of it here. Where can we start experimenting with new things? So what we do is, in our projects we research a lot. So Saturdays are most of the days where we just research on different kinds of materials that are going on in the industry. What is going on in other parts of the world. So that also we research. But the thing is, there are no certain laws here right now for that. But we try to incorporate certain things which we can, as a creative part of it, and try to make it more unique in our own way. So I think it all depends upon your technical knowledge in the field, plus the kind of imagination you can go. So it's both collaborated hand in hand.
Right. So very creative work. I think a lot of imagination goes on there, and that's how beautiful buildings are coming out today, right? And when we talk about architect as a field, right, there are two things when you start in terms of your career, in terms of education, right? One is people go through the engineering way, where you said, hey, I did not choose the engineering way, where people get into BE or BTech civil, right? And there is other way, the other path is B architecture, right? B
Yeah.
bachelor of architect and all of this, right? So are these both taking towards the same thing, or how are they different, the bachelor of architecture and BE civil, if you can put some light around that?
Yeah. So when we talk about BE civil, the common area where these both lines meet is when people do post graduation. Something that
Hmm.
would be specialized. So if an architect has to do something, a specialization in the field, it could be different parts inside the architecture field. For example, interiors, landscape. It could be town planning. Planning the entire city. It could be now the green building. That is the recent
Right.
trend. Green buildings, sustainable buildings. So these are all different areas where the post graduation or the specialization takes place after the architecture. Environmental architecture. So we design taking into account that no building or no construction would harm the environment. So it's a eco-friendly building. So
Mhm.
this kind of designing approach is more inclined towards the architecture part. But when we talk about civil, civil is more kind of you are executing it, where architecture tends to have 50-50, like 50% planning, 50% execution. Civil engineering is totally on the execution part. That is
Okay.
100%. For example, I have given a design to a civil engineer. Now, this is his responsibility to execute it completely. So, what kind of materials are required there? Is the quantity right on the site? Then, where should the materials be provided on the site? Right. So, all these things will be in civil engineer, and post graduation can be in different kinds of fields like MS structures. Then it could be also in like flyovers, bridges. So there could be different fields for civil engineers specialized.
Wow.
It could be also
Especially on
railway.
okay, rainwater harvesting.
Yeah,
And I think
railway.
flyovers, bridges, these are
Yeah,
also something. Specialization is done on these things.
yes. So any structure, yes, the specialization is there for you know uh, civil engineers too. And one thing common which I could see is because I have done my post graduation in project management after my
Hmm.
graduation. So civil engineers can also do that. So there are two types of management that we can do: construction management and project management. So mostly, civil engineers tend to do construction management because that is close to their field, and architects are tend, because they consider, planning and designing of entire project. I went for project management.
Hmm.
So that way, where your inclination lies, it's
Yeah.
like both are the part of same coin, civil engineer and architecture.
Interesting, interesting. Now I'm able to connect with the IT project management with your architecture project management. I think more or less the same. You have so many stakeholders which you are dealing with. It can be your client, first of all, plus the stakeholders, site engineers, construction engineers, those people, and also your vendors that you're talking about. I think pretty much similar there. But one thing is when you look at architecture, this is a very creative field, right? So somebody who might be aspiring during their school or college days, just like you did, right, during your academics. If somebody is aspiring, but they believe, hey, I'm not very creative person, right? Because they don't know whether they are really creative or not, but they have aspiration in this field. How do they actually take this up, and how actually they can grow and build success in this particular career?
So, just yesterday I was talking to a girl, and I was having like an interview sort of with her, and I asked her, what made you come into this field? So
Hmm.
she gave a very interesting reply that, same, like since childhood she was very good in sketching and drawings. So I asked her like what kind of drawings, right? And she said, anything that I saw, I used to see in front of me, I could, easily sketch it or draw it as it is. And slowly she said that I used to imagine, like for example, if she sees this one object, as it is, how many ways it can be designed differently,
Hmm.
so here is one person who already have that creativity inside, but architecture also gives you a chance to expand your creativity, because when we have entrance exams, I think the entrance exams are very much crucial here, because there your creativity is enhanced, and you also get to know whether you are really made for this field or not, because it's all about imagination and visualization, right? And not only virtually or fiction, but whether it could be technically done or not, feasible or not. So I think it gives a good amount of knowledge to you when you enter into this field, right from entrance till the graduation.
Great, and I can see some people who have that artist in them can become better in this architecture and these kind of fields as well, right? So you also had that artist in you from the beginning during the childhood, or what made you feel, hey, I can get success in this particular career?
So when I was in school, I remember I used to be very much inclined towards paintings, colors. I used to love colors. So my parents thought that she's good in drawing, so let's put her in some different drawing competitions. So there I did very well, elementary, intermediate exams, which are very high level exams for drawing and sketching. So there I did good, and they felt that okay, this is something she can carry forward in her life. And they thought that I would become, something as an artist or somebody, good in this field. But my inclination was more towards, as I told you, the structures, the buildings, So that's why I took this skill and I am now using it here. That's
Great. That's amazing. And in this field, we also have interior designers who play a role. So why didn't you choose interior designing? Like a lot of people, especially women, get into the interior designing and then they pick up this as a career. Why did you pick this when compared to interior designing, and how are they different again?
So, Fatah, frankly, to tell you, there were quite few times in my life when, earlier in my career, when I used to feel, oh, really, I should quit this, and should start something that is really, okay for women. I used to also feel that. And there were many opportunities also for me, right, to go into teaching in the college where I studied, take interior projects, but one thing that constantly kept me, telling is, if I go away from this field, then what will happen to other women who want to be in this field? I want to do something, I want to be in this field. तो बोलते हैं ना डट के रहना है. I want to be here, so that I can inspire other women to be here, because it's very easy for you to back out from this field. It's very easy. You have so many distractions, you have so many other opportunities. But if your being is that, that you are an architect. From childhood I had this dream, and uh, I could not give up on this. So rather, I chose to pursue this as my mainstream, be there on site, handle all the challenges. But I got the opportunities of interior designing, and I took that. But my main core stream is still architecture. What we have done is, we take now projects architecture plus interiors both,
Hmm.
so that architect has that upper hand, that okay, we have designed the building, so let me also have the interior designing, because there we have already designed the building, जहाँ पे इंटीरियर का खर्चा ज्यादा नहीं होगा. They will not be in so much of pay of interior designing and for labors and everything, materials, because we have already designed the building in such a way. So this is something advantage for the clients also. So I think this, I identified the gap, right? And I took this opportunity and I merged architecture and interior designing together.
That's beautiful. I think if someone has those kind of combinations, it saves a lot of money for clients. It actually helps them to actually have that dream seen through one person rather than going to multiple people and looking at, hey, this is my architecture and this is going to be my interior designs, because interior designing again costs a huge money for actually a house, right? So if you are
Yeah, it
able to
actually costs
construct that
more
already,
than construction.
yeah, I think today everyone wants that like dream house again. They want to experience a lot of things. So that's where like interior designing costs a lot. But I think whatever you are doing helps a lot of your clients. That's nice to know. Right. And now a lot of professionals like you, Shruti, who would have got into architecture, they would have been there for 10, 15 years. But the struggle they go through is they're not able to generate a huge income, right? Though they are putting their heart out there, they are going to the sites, visiting it. What do you think is the big challenge why people are struggling not making money in this field?
So one thing is, I could clearly see here that people are, they are in a competition here. For example, there are hundreds and lakhs of, architects and interior designers in a city. So what happens is, if there are certain projects, there are already so many people, who are actually working on that particular project, that I should get that project. And if one is charging, let's say, 100 rupee per square feet, the other would say, oh, I'll give you in 50 rupees, just give me the project, right? So a lot of competition is there, and people are still taking this practice in a very traditional way. They are not thinking out of the box. They are not thinking how I can be different. They are not thinking that, okay, let me be good in one particular aspect, be a specialized in one particular area, and deliver all my value to those kind of people. Like, they are generalistic, so this particular thing will always make them be in a competition and not earn enough money. Rather, adding value in their life, they are not thinking the profession that way. They are just thinking that, oh, it's a work, you know it's a project, I have to deliver it and I'll get my money. But they are not thinking about the experience that they can give to their clients, or a long term relation with the client. So I think that's why they are getting short term money.
Right.
Yeah, and that too not, I must say, not proportionate enough for the time, and for the energy that they are putting for this.
Yeah, it's very sad to see that, and I think these are some of the big mistakes also people are doing, being a generalist and looking at competition. What are the other big mistakes you see people in this particular industry are making, which is actually affecting their career and their growth?
So one thing is, they are not sharing their wisdom. They are not, like, for example, there are so many senior people here who have already established business or established firms, but they are not sharing their wisdom with the new generation, or with the people who are just fresh graduates, right, who need their guidance, who need their mentorship. Because there might be, you might be having that backup, when you started your journey, or how you got the projects, how you establish yourself in this field. But are you sharing it with others? And this is a big, huge gap in the industry, because everybody is thinking only about themselves and not about others, right? So I think when you share enough, you get enough. So here they are only concerned about their own firm growth, their own revenue. And that's why I think this field, the young generation, they are deprived of coaching and mentoring from such experienced people.
Right. I think a huge gap there. People not sharing knowledge and not giving back from where they started, looking at that roots and helping others as well. So you have been able to establish your brand. How did you create that differentiating factor in the industry, and how are you able to grow fast in this particular industry?
So it's been 12 years for time this industry now. And so the same pain which I told you, because when I was a fresher, when I started my firm, I never had anybody to guide me. Like, I was all alone figuring out, okay, what I have to do next, how should I get my first project, what should I do, whom to approach. So many thoughts, and I figured out one by one, all by myself. And it took me 10 long years to come here. So now I think, what if I mentor those kind of professionals who are just starting up, or who were like me, and help them to grow faster. Because it took me 10 years, what if I help them to achieve what I achieved in just 3 to 4 years. So I think there, I started to share my part of value, my experiences, how I started, what mistakes I did. So
Mm,
it's also important that you share the mistakes with the new generation, that, hey, please don't do this mistake, I did it,
right.
right? And a lot of, I must say, construction professionals, civil engineers, architects, and interior designers, they are loving this, because they feel that somebody is there to guide them, mentor them. I think that's why it is creating a brand by itself, right? So high income construction professionals is for all those construction professionals who are at that stage where they are struggling in their life every day. So this is a hand holding, mentorship that I'm, helping them with, so that I don't want anybody to tell, oh, I'm struggling. So my movement is against trouble, right?
Amazing.
So this is something I have started 2 years back.
That's really nice to know the way you are helping people to come out of the struggle and started this movement in your industry, right? And you have been able to now help a lot of people, right? So one of the thing is people think, okay, construction industry, there's a lot of material they can go through Google, YouTube. So you have been talking about mentorship, avoiding mistakes. Why should they actually look for a mentor when information is overloaded there on internet and everywhere?
Yeah, and actually that's the very problem of any field is there is a lot of information available, but uh, it's not in a structured way. So as construction field itself is an unstructured system, right? So anybody is doing anything now. For example, if person has money, lot of money, he becomes a builder suddenly. One fine day you can see that person, constructing a building all by himself. So
Right.
this industry is very unstructured, and there is no such system or process followed. So where will you find the right path, right, in this field? If you have certain vision that, as an architect, I want to have dream houses of maybe 100 people in this year. I want to build dream houses, but how will you find that path? What would be that correct path? There would be several different paths, right? You know the destination, but there are maybe multiple paths to reach to that. Which is that path which is made for you, right? Which is your skill that can help you reach there, right? And how soon you can do that. So, this mentorship is not a generalistic mentorship program, but it is actually, a customized one, because every person has individual inclination, individual skills, different skill
Right.
set. So understanding what is good for you, and then, taking the next step is very much important. So I think getting that clarity itself first, because this field is so vast and there are so many streams here. So understanding where is the inclination is the first step. So
Yeah,
I think therefore Google cannot help you to find that. So
absolutely. Right.
that's
And
very
I think what you highlighted is very important. When the field itself is so unstructured, right? Construction industry, as you rightly said, there's so many people who are like, just because they have money, jump out and then they are ready to construct their own house end to end, not looking at the way it has to be done. So such unstructured field and information also scattered in different places through Google. So if somebody has to fast track and get the right path and the structured path with that clarity, I think, of course, a mentor is somebody who can help to go ahead and then do that. And so you have been mentoring a lot of professionals and you talk about how to become high income construction professionals. So what are the skills people need to do that? Right. One is, of course, they come with their own technical knowledge, which is around your field, right? Architecture. But what are the things that can help them to become those high income professionals?
Yeah. So, first of all, when they come to HICP, there are so many skills that they feel that they have, because they have learned during the graduation. But when you actually start working in the practical, world, the skills that are required and you have learned are just the 5% of what is required, right? So there are so many different kinds of skills. And the first skill is, learning business skills. There's a technical everybody is teaching in college, right? The theory part is everybody is teaching, but how to convert that into business, right? Even we call ourselves as professionals, but we are into business. We are exchanging something, right? So you should know the business skills, and business skills itself consist of so many different kinds of skills. It could be communication, it could be persuasion, it could be marketing, it could be branding yourself, it could be having right kind of leads to you, identifying what kind of people will get attracted to you. So there are so many multiple skills that you have to develop along the way. So I think even if you have right technical skills, very good at technical, but it's not necessary that if you are a university topper in your college, but you will be a successful business or a successful entrepreneur in the industry. It's not
Right.
guaranteed because you
Right.
have to have those skills.
Yeah, I think very important aspect you touched here. It's not about your academic achievements. It is more about your practical knowledge and learning that business skills, I think, can become the game changer for a lot of people out there. Right. So that's something amazing. And you have also written this book, right? What is captured in this particular book, The Wonder City Makers? What is it all about, and who can benefit from this book?
So uh, first, I would like to tell you why, Wonder City Makers. So as a child, this all started, from my childhood, this vision. So I was always fascinated by seven wonders of the world, right?
Wow.
Everybody knows, that there is something unique in those structures, and that's why they are called as the seven wonders. So along this journey of 12 years, I have found out that, there are seven wonders inside us. And if we tap into those, in a right way as a professional, there is no need for you to struggle. Rather, you will not feel you are struggling. You will be always in a progressive path. So this book is all about those seven steps, how you can be a high income construction professional. And this is a roadmap which, I personally have gone through. So in this seven steps, they'll get to know how to progress in their journey. And we cannot reach at a mountaintop, in one go, right? We have to take certain steps to reach there. So
Right.
this is something of for all the construction professionals, that is architects, civil engineers, and interior designers.
Amazing. Thank you for writing this book. And where can people avail this book if they have to purchase this?
Yeah. So right now it's in the last stage of it. So it will be soon available on Amazon, and I'll be also launching it. So my whole purpose is, how can I launch it in front of the construction, those people who are well established in the construction profession, because I want them to review it, and I would want them to tell the other professionals, how it can be beneficial. So I'll be doing it soon, and people can pre-book it. So I have already few people in the line who want to take this book.
Great. And I think people who are watching us, you can pre-book this book, but to do that, you have to start following Shruti Deshpande. She's available on all social media channels, right, including Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. So you can start following her, and you can find she's going to share the links where you can also pre-book this book. And you have been sharing a lot of knowledge out there, right? And people who are like there are people who would have not got success at certain stage, and they would have given up on that, right? What if they have to like bounce forward and then again look at it? What is your message for these kind of people?
So and I have learned from this mentor. Uh, I have learned this from my mentor, that every person gets a chance to take a reboot multiple times in his life. So I'm a strong believer, because I have killed myself so many times. I'm no more that kind of person who started this journey. And from the last 2 years, I have completely changed my mindset. So one thing, if you have to start this journey again, it's a very good opportunity, because you have to kill your old self first, your old beliefs, your old perception about this industry. This industry has actually a lot of things to offer. There are a lot of opportunities there, and there is actually need of lot of potential of professionals here in this industry, but because of the lack of awareness, people are missing out these opportunities. So I think if you have to start this journey of success, first thing is kill your old self and start thinking about this industry in a very positive way, and have a mentor in your life, because unless and until you have somebody who has walked that path, again it would be, your journey would be a lot of struggles. So mentor will help you make this journey easy, and
Right.
even not easy, also beautiful rather. You'll feel more good when you're on this journey with somebody.
Right, absolutely. I think wonderful tips there, Shruti, for people who are struggling and who want to actually bounce forward in their life. I think this is a wonderful tip. And we are at the conclusion of this particular episode. But I think whatever you shared were some amazing tips. But if you want to conclude with a message, what would that message be for people out there?
So I feel, everybody here, on this earth, have come here for a purpose, right? And one thing I would like to tell to all the professionals out here, because my heart goes, to the construction professionals, that you are here to actually make a difference on earth. Your one step, can actually have a mark on the globe. So consider yourself lucky that you have given this opportunity, and to go forward and actually make a mark on the globe. So let's together do this. Let's take each other forward, help each other, right? So all the people who are experienced, please do share their wisdom, and all those who are freshers, take the wisdom. So it's a give and take relationship. So I'm there, as a mentor, and if anybody wants my help, I'm always available, for all the professionals.
Beautiful, beautiful message there out for everyone, Shruti. Thank you for sharing that message. And thanks everyone for watching us. And I'm sure this episode is going to help you. And if you want to learn more, do connect with Shruti Deshpande on the social media channels. And you can also look at how do you actually learn more by getting into the mentorship programs and the other things that Shruti Deshpande is doing. So thank you, Shruti, once again for being here and adding huge value to the audience.
Thank you, Fatah. I must say this conversation was, so much effective from my side also, because the kind of questions you asked were very, in detail and in depth. And if, all the construction professionals are hearing this, it will surely benefit them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you once again and have a great day.